Dr. Lee, the podcasting beast from the East with the Professor John Gotti, the King of R&D, the Troll Master, the Data Analyzing Ninja, the Conqueror of his own fate. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Terminator, Professor Omega, the Cleaner. How you doing, sir?
You know, Doc, I'm feeling liberated because I and the rest of the people listening to the sound of Doc's voice must acknowledge Lee. For I am the wise man of your reigning, defending, undisputed podcasting champion of the world, and the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, our tribal beast, the Sultan of Squat, the head of the table, Los Tranquilo, the Pied Piper of podcasting, the sanitizer, Doc. How you doing, man? It's a pretty good Tuesday so far. I mean, not a lot going on. I mean, we got a catchphrase for Doc now. We got to put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, I can tell you how pressing sporting news is right now. The only thing out of the association is Wall for Westbrook trade and freaking Boogie Cousins signing a 10-day contract. That's where we are in sporting news. Which I'm not really.
And people speculating that Julius Randle is going to get traded.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't see that speculation.
Yeah.
Is that a New York Knicks insider?
Nope. Wasn't just New York. They was talking about ESPN and.
Prof got the insider?
No. No, it just speaks on how press for news that the NBA needs.
I mean, you never know. I mean,
Grayson Allen.
Oh, Grayson, Mr. Allen,
Dookie.
I mean, he's no stranger to controversy. You know what I'm saying? He's no stranger to controversy. Wasn't it? It was tripping. It was. What else did he do? He did a few things.
It was a lot of tripping.
Yeah,
it was a lot of tripping.
I mean, don't stick that foot out. Kind of spoiled brat syndrome. It seemed like sometimes. But I mean, I thought he was beyond that.
No.
Like beyond meat. I thought he was beyond that.
That was pretty clever.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to be moving forward. But back to the Julius Randle thing, though. I wonder if it's because of the new tandem of the two Dookies. I mean, two forwards. Julius has been doing his thing, but I mean, maybe they.
It's not because that. It's literally all this is stemming from.
Oh,
and
that
this
New
is,
York
of course,
thing?
Coming from my gut.
Of course, that thing that you did say you liked too, by the way, that when he said it, if that's what you're going with.
Yes, when he told them to shut the F up.
I mean, which you loved, which is,
and I loved it because sometimes you got to tell your fan base to RELAX. You got a ticket, you can say whatever you want, but to sit there and boo, to sit there and pull what Bucks fans did at the game and leave early.
Oh yeah, I told you, man. I told
What
you.
do you think this is, Miami?
Yeah,
But
I told you, and you can't get back in either. You can't get back in either.
And that's what made it. Which is why I said, "What do you think this is, Miami?" Because
you can't get back in.
Yeah, but I like the fact that he did that because you need to admonish fans who they're just so quick to the draw. Which is why now all the speculation about Julius Randle potentially getting traded is because of that. It's not because of the reunion of two Dookies. I feel like we're putting way too much stock into that just yet. He only just played his second game.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, the Knicks have been relatively quiet, um, you know, and I don't even know who they would trade for, but it would have to be somebody that could come in and really put up some points. But like you said, it's all speculation.
It's all
Uh,
speculation.
but
I
I
mean,
do like,
I wouldn't hate it if we end up getting De'Aaron Fox from Sacramento. That's just
you
me.
know, a
That's
lot
just
of
me.
people. I've seen his name pop up a lot in a lot of trade scenarios. You got Philadelphia, of course, the Lakers, but the Knicks would be good.
Hmm.
That'd be a good spot. I mean, it's definitely time to get him out of Sacramento, where he's wasting
Well, that
away.
and plus that's one of our biggest weakness is that the point guard position.
Which I don't think it's a weakness because of the talent. I think it's a
No,
weakness because of who you're playing, and
uh,
who really controls the ball. Because every time I watch the Knicks, I mean, I don't know where we're at, 50 games in, 40, 50 games in.
something like that.
Every time I watch the game, I would say about 5 or 6 times I've watched the Knicks. It's I see Barrett bringing the ball up. I see
Yep.
Julius bringing the ball up. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So it's it's not a place where you need a true point guard. It's positionless almost.
Yeah, because
But
Derrick Rose is still out.
hmm I mean,
Emmanuel
Kimba
quickly,
came in
who I love, he's really a swing guard.
too.
He's not
Yeah,
really a point guard.
right, right. But I mean, we'll continue to watch. I mean,
And I don't
the trade
know
deadline is
what they're
coming up.
doing with
So
Kemba. Like Kemba will have a
e-
29-point game, then they'll sit him for 2 games.
facts, big facts. But the NBA trade deadline is rapidly approaching February 10th, which is a few weeks away from now. And a lot of people are talking. I feel like the NBA trade deadline hasn't been as strong as it has been in a couple of years, so we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. But Johnny, you mentioned RELAX, relax, and it's funny because Marcus Spears actually posted something or gave a take on Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, citing that the Packers should, quote unquote, cut ties with Aaron Rodgers, ending this era. Like they should stop being held hostage by Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not 100% sure on if I agree with that. He says, and I quote, Green Bay needs to cut ties. They need to stop being held hostage. I have not seen so much fuss to get so much nothing for a number of years, which is kind of bush league because I mean Aaron Rodgers has led them to the playoffs. He's led them to the division round. Obviously, he's won one championship, but outside of the onside kick that was missed, this particular game of a blocked punt, Aaron did his good job. The infamous situation last year, the run no run blunder, but the lack of protection, the lack of, quote unquote weapons, has really been held over Aaron's head. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm ready for that. But I mean, they have Jordan Love, who obviously they drafted in the first round, um, which was, of course, big controversy. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if they turn it over. This looks a lot like what happened with Brett Favre, and I think I said that in the playoff game. Aaron Aaron would throw the pick six to end his tenure in Green Bay, similar to Brett. Going out in the playoffs, and just it just doesn't work out for you. So I think this could be the end of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I've been on record to say I would love for Tom to retire and Aaron come in, but we'll have to wait and see. But in this situation, you're talking about a team that doesn't need to go into a rebuild, as Bruce Arians would say, and a lot of the coaches say it's not really a rebuild; it's really retooling, reshifting, shaping. putting different people in positions to succeed, and freeing up $20 million, $30 million from the quarterback position with a quarterback that's still under his rookie contract is, a pretty good deal. So that gives them opportunity to re-sign some of their defensive players, re-sign Devontae Adams if they want to, um, re-sign some other key players, and be key contributors in free agency. So if I'm Green Bay, I'm thinking to myself, hey, this is an opportunity to, hit the reset button without hitting the reset button, because you've already seen somewhat of a body of work from Jordan Love in the game that Aaron Rodgers is out due to COVID. So it's not that he can't play; he just needs the reps. So I would be curious to see if he's able to do that, and if the Packers and Lafleur feel comfortable with Jordan Love moving forward. But speaking of Bruce Arians and the Bucks, Bruce Arians has gone on record to say he does not think that Tom Brady is going to retire, but if he did, Bruce is actually comfortable with Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask. Um, and if I'm the Bucks, and if Tom retires, that's 24, $25 million that,
Get
the
back.
Bucks, yeah, and you have Blaine Gabbert who makes a backup salary, and then you got Kyle Trask on his rookie deal. That gives you
I
an
mean, do
opportunity
you
to.
roll with Blaine? Do you roll with Kyle? I mean, what would you do, Doc, if you're Bruce Arians?
Well, Bruce Arians has already said that he's comfortable with that. He's comfortable with those two guys, and I think they can do it. Blaine's been in the offense before. Obviously, he's been a backup for the last 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
but this gives you an opportunity to re-sign Chris, re-sign some of the other guys that you might want. I'm not sure if Gronk stays, or goes. I don't think JPP is coming back. I don't think Sue's coming back. I think they move on from some of those guys. Obviously, we don't have, to worry about the Antonio Browns of the world.
Nope.
I'm not 100% sold on Carlton Davis. Um, even though they love him, I'm not 100% sold on him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just saw the franchise tag number at $17.5 million, which is just not happening. Um, Personally, I think they should move on from Carlton Davis and bring in somebody else. Obviously they've already
I mean,
locked
what
up Vita
about
Vea.
Ross Cockrell?
I'm hoping that his contract expires also. I don't think he's somebody that they should bring back either, in my personal opinion. But I think the one take that a lot of people don't
He's
think
from New
about when it,
Jersey, Doc.
I think the one take that people don't think about is, outside of Tom Brady being the football player, I don't think people think about Tom Brady being the human being and the father and the husband.
No,
It's like
of course not. I
he's
mean,
already
unfortunately, it's just which is
44.
apropos if you think about it. And I know we don't really like to speak about this one athlete because everyone talks about him every single time he,
Hmm.
coughs. But
Right.
it's the same thing that people want for LeBron James when people are critical of him. He's
Hmm.
a businessman, he's a entrepreneur, he's a
Polarizing figure,
father,
yeah.
he is a polar like
Well, that's not the route I was going. I mean, I was really going more towards he's been playing so long, like, and that's not just time with, entertaining us, right?
mm-hmm.
But that's time away from his kids, it's time away from his wife, it's time away from his family,
Yep.
missing on certain holidays, missing out on, events, birthdays, possibly, anniversaries, and whatever other, holidays that he likes to celebrate. And, for 20 something years, you've been on this strict schedule, waking up early, watching film, doing all this extra stuff. And, I'm sure it takes a big toll on the relationships and everything. So,
Of course.
um,
But it's
if
not like
I'm,
he hates it though. Like,
well, no, it's not. It's not a matter of him hating it. It's just a matter of, hey, how long are you going to do this? Because, you think about it, you're in a relationship with somebody, you're married to them, and you don't really get a chance to spend that time with them. because they're always gone. So I think he probably is going to start valuing that time because again he's getting older. It's like anything, but you're absolutely right. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Tom, if he does go out on this particular, playoff game, again, probably one of the greatest playoff games that I've ever got a chance to witness. So,
I mean, I would say it's the best playoff weekend I've ever seen.
well, I didn't really care about the other games. I just care about this one. Um, but with that being said, we had the power rankings, the divisional power rankings, or post divisional round power
Post
rankings.
divisional, yep.
Number one here we have the Kansas City Chiefs, which again, their thing all year has been like let's find a way to win.
Hmm.
I think they did that. I mean, Mahomes is now in the Grim Reaper, and it looks like they're trying to go to their third straight Super Bowl, which I
Is
mean is
is it's possible? I mean,
yeah.
let's not underestimate again the Cincinnati Bengals. I feel like a lot of people already kind of writing them out already, but
I think it's because Patrick Mahomes is doing something really that only few quarterbacks have been able to do.
hmm
You think of the Aikmans, the Montanas, the Bradys, and here you are, young Patrick Mahomes earlier in his career, not years later during rebuilds and builds. And, luckily, prayerfully, he doesn't suffer one of those big injuries that a lot of those quarterbacks have done. But he's leading the team to victory, and I mean, this is huge for the Chiefs. It's huge for
this
Chief
is
Nation.
this was huge.
Uh,
This was a great game for a lot of the naysayers. I mean, they probably already got converted back onto the bandwagon, but like they really got back on that bandwagon after this game.
oh no, I believe you. Number two, the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, um, as it says here, they're a resilient bunch of guys. They have a resilient
You
fan
know what?
base.
Resilience isn't the right term to describe them. They got grit.
Grit. I love grits.
I should have actually made some grits for breakfast, but that's besides the
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
The
I mean, they might have.
49ers toughed it out.
I mean, we talk about the Chiefs ending, an era in Pittsburgh. Maybe the 49ers just ended an era in Green Bay. Obviously, I
We'll
talked
talk
about
about
that.
Green Bay when
Well, I talked
it.
I talked about that earlier today. I talked about how Aaron Rodgers was basically I talked about a take on ESPN saying that Aaron Rodgers should be let go. It was Marcus Spears saying that they should stop being held hostage.
Hell, hostage.
That's what he said. That's what he said. I mean, I've already done this.
It's
This
fine.
take.
It's fine.
Yeah,
This
I've
is
already
about the
done this take.
49ers. The
Yes,
defense is legit.
Debo is legit. I mean, he's playing um, all over the field, and
Yep.
George Kittle's coming up big. I
Debo's
didn't think.
looking like prime Percy Harvin's out there, but even more
Yes,
so.
yeah, more. I think he's more explosive. I mean, Debo is just like he's a strong runner, really
Yes.
strong runner. That first down that he got on I think it was 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 7 was like amazing. Um, and I was sitting there like, why are the 49ers being cute? Like, why don't they just run the ball up the middle? I'm so confused. And then they finally did it on 3rd and 7, and he picked up the first down. But um, hats off to them. They're going on to face the number 3 team, the Los Angeles Rams, which, I mean, obviously they went to number 3 because they gave up a, you know, 27-3 lead. Um, I mean, Matthew Stafford looks great in most of the game, but then other parts he struggles. The 49ers obviously have played the Rams twice this year. They went 1-1, and really it's anybody's game. Um, I think it's anyone's game this particular week to go against the AFC champ, whoever that will be. Lastly, the team you mentioned here, the Cincinnati Bengals, who, after 31 years without winning a playoff game, have won two back to back, two tough games. And I would say that the Bengals have grit as well. They found a way to win games that, a lot of people have written them off for. But their defense has been shutting down the run. And Jamar Chase has been really, really clutch. If he has a game similar to what he had a few weeks ago, where
Hmm.
he like torched them for like 200 something yards, then the Chiefs are going to be in for an issue. They're going to be in for a big deal. And the one thing about it is that we've already seen that the Chiefs secondary is just not good.
No,
But
no.
the Bengals
And they don't
secondary,
even know if they're going to have the honey badger for the AFC Championship game either
oh
because he's in
yeah,
concussion
that's true.
protocol.
That's true.
So,
I mean, the Bengals secondary isn't great either,
but it's better than.
but it's better than what we saw from the Bills and the Chiefs. We talked really lowly about Eli Apple, and then he came up with some really big plays. But we'll have to wait and see. And obviously, Joe Burrow. Hopefully, he can shake off being sacked 9 times and come
I
back and
mean,
off.
I feel like we're putting way too much emphasis on the sack 9 times because he can get over that.
I
Like,
don't know. And sometimes it's not easy to get over. Sometimes it's not because you lose trust in your offensive line. You start throwing the ball early. You know
but
you
he didn't though.
I would have to go back and watch the tape
Yeah, I'm like
because I
he,
know
but
that
he
happens. I
didn't
know that
though.
happens. I know that happens to Tom quite often. Like
Yes.
Tom will be like, you know what, I'll just take the sack. It happens.
Hmm.
Um, we'll have to wait and see. But I don't think the Chiefs will be able to sack him 9 times. But we'll have to wait and see because they throw a lot of quick passes. Um, and again, if Jamar Chase has a game like he did, we're gonna have a major,
It's
major
gonna
problem on our
be
hands.
it's gonna be another match for the ages. That I will
Yeah,
say.
yeah. But I mean, the teams that are out, Johnny. Really quickly here, the Bills. What do you think they have to do to get to the next level? Like, what do they have to do? Who do they have to bring in? Like, I mean, obviously they're losing. They may lose a coordinator possibly,
Hmm.
depending on if their
I
coordinator
think
is
them losing
tired.
a coordinator, and if it's the defensive coordinator, it might end up being a
Hmm.
good thing.
You think so?
I think so
Gotcha.
because
Well,
I
we talked
think
about.
that's a team that needs something new for their defense. Like their offense is legit, and the fact that Stephon Diggs didn't have a monster game, like, just shows how good
Hmm.
their offense really is.
No, absolutely. We got the Green Bay Packers next. Obviously,
I mean,
quarterback. And I said this earlier. Blocked punt. You had the infamous no run call last year, or he threw the interception to Devin White. You have the onside kick from a couple years ago that didn't happen. So it's not all Aaron Rodgers' fault, but it happens. We've already talked about the Bucks and what I felt they needed to do. I mean, depending on what happened, but the Titans. I mean, I think quarterback wise, is Ryan Tannehill the future of the Tennessee Titans? That's a major question. I don't know where he would be able to go to fit in and be that franchise quarterback. But the Duke's Titans are going to have to make a change. Maybe Aaron Rodgers says, hey, that's a team. Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, a defense that he can build around. But we'll have to wait and see. But Johnny, I know that people heard this podcast on their favorite podcast platform, but if they didn't, they can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to review this episode as well as all the previous. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we go over the news, the analysis, and the reads.